Thank you. We may now be seated. Good afternoon. May I call on Mrs. Lourdes Josephine Gotianon Yap, Director of FDCUI and President and CEO of Philinvest Land, for their welcome remarks.
President Duterte, friends from the government, ladies and gentlemen, maayong hapon sa inyong tanan. Welcome to the inauguration ceremony of the FDC Misamis 405 megawatt circulating fluidized bed coal thermal plant. We are humbled by the presence of President Duterte as he inaugurates the first power plant to be commissioned during his administration. We adhere to his strong conviction that when Mindanao is strong, the entire Philippines is strong. And today, this plant stands as the biggest power plant in Mindanao and has finally put an end to the recurring power crisis that has plagued the region. This will drive much-needed development in Mindanao by ensuring a reliable and competitively priced power supply. This plant marks the biggest investment of the Philinvest Group and reaffirms its confidence in Mindanao. It is our mission to provide power at the most affordable cost, in the most reliable way, while investing in technology that protects the environment. As we celebrate this afternoon, we give due recognition to all our partners who made the power project a success. We are extremely grateful for the warm welcome we have received from the province of Misamis Oriental, the municipalities of Villanueva and Tagoloan, and FIVIDEC, for the encouragement from the regulatory agencies of the DOE, ERC, and DNR, among others, from the unwavering support of our valued customers in the region, and the strong assistance of our lenders, our contractors, and the dedicated FDCUI team under the leadership of Mr. Alcordo and Mr. Pangilinan. This plant was the brainchild of my father, Andrew Gotianon Sr. It holds a special meaning for us because it was his last major endeavor. So it is with bittersweet emotion that we inaugurate it without his physical presence. In his memory, the Andrew Gotianon Foundation will be establishing a technical vocational high school in FIVIDEC, with the first batch of over 480 live-in scholars to be sourced from all over Mindanao. In partnership with ERDATEC and Xavier University, these scholars will provide the much-needed skills to support the industries in Mindanao. This project will be started soon and will happen during the Duterte administration.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, we will witness the presentation of the dedication marker for the late Andrew Gotianon Sr. May we request President Duterte, Mrs. Mercedes Gotianon, and the family for a photo opportunity. A big hand, please, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, President Duterte, Mrs. Gotianon, and Mrs. Yap. Ladies and gentlemen, the next part of our program is the unveiling of the inaugural marker of the Philinvest Development Corporation's Misamis 3 by 135 megawatt CFB coal plant. To be led, of course, by our President, Rodrigo Duterte, together with government officials and members of the Gotianon family. A big hand, please. A round of applause. Thank you very much. At this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to request President Duterte to press the ceremonial power button to signal the inauguration of the FDC Misamis coal plant.
This power plant is already connected to the Mindanao grid.
Thank you for watching our brief presentation on the thermal plant. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, may we call on Datu Abdul Kair Dangal Alonto, Chairperson of the Mindanao Development Authority, to introduce our guest of honor.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My fellow citizens, ladies and gentlemen, I give you the beloved son of Mindanao and the noble leader, the President of the Republic of the Philippines, Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
Kindly sit down. Salamat. Governor Emano, Representative Onabia, Representative Oy, Representative Rolando Oy, Representative Maximo Rodriguez, Representative Lord Alan Velasco, the committee sa Energy's House, Abdul Khair Alonto, one of the cabinet members who are here, Mrs. Mercedes Gutianon, the chairperson, Andrew Gutianon, Josephine, Jonathan Michael, Edward Gutianon, Mr. Jesus Alcorda, chairperson of the board, Mr. Mario Pangilinan, Mayor Jenner Rosaliti Oy, Mayor Hector Fernando Giordimano, my beloved countrymen, good afternoon. You know, while I'm talking about this, the newest plant, and congratulating the Gutianon family for their sheer enterprise, not only in the development of the Philippines, but sharing the money to help the Philippines raise the standard of living. One of the few nakita ko na, well, the big ones are really big. And they are big because maybe God gave them so much. So that's also they can help so much of our fellow men. Wala na kayo masyadong problema in about years to come. But again, the second and third generation would still suffer if we're not able to really utilize the, what I would say, the solar and the wind, and I don't know where. Alam mo, this will be, again, I said, tallied against the statistics of the EU. Tapos they would again start to compute the carbon footprints dito. Ganon yan yung, you know, I had this argument with the EU. Early on, hindi pa ako off ng office. This went to see me, and it's about the, the campaign to reduce carbon in this planet because of the so many changes in the weather, and it was the Kyoto Conference, it was signed, but last to sign was, I think, China, Russia, and the United States, and most of the heavily industrialized countries. That is where I said the hypocrisy and sometimes the stupid inconsistency itong mga industrial powers. They want to lower, but they also want us to go lower than usual. So they would want to delimit, and we cannot raise higher than the ratio that we've been using. You are used to. So pagka saka tagamay. Now, if we want to industrialize our country, because we were left behind by so many generations, you have to keep up with developments. And the vow right now to use is coal. Why? Barato, it's available, although it is maybe deleterious to the whole of the climate of planet Earth. Now, this is the problem. Sila started very early. So, upon the dawn of the industrialized era of this planet, sila yung mabibilis, and the consumed oil, the fossil fuel oil, bunker, lahat diesel, sila yung tumaas na daan. Sila yung bumubuga, and they took them years to do it. Now that they have changed the climate, because we were then poor, and we had nothing, gusto lang ngayon tayo, gusto natin umabot rin sa kanilang parang kayamanan. Pero sabi lang, wag masyado kasi nagpupulyot tayo ng air. Kami mag-control, kayo kontrolin. Pero kung anong atas, huwag kang sumubra. Sumunod ka sa ratio and proportion. Sabi ko, mga gago talaga, umalis kayo dyan. Kaya galit sila sa akin. Nga, they want me to investigate the human rights. Katawan na ng mga puti. So what we do now is we go to China, and rightly so. China is in good faith. Yung historical naman yan. Sabi na, hindi naman yung kanya. Ng mga leaders ngayon. So, there is their arbitral judgment because may contest dyan. But nung nanalo na tayo, may dalawang options. We go to war para kunin natin, or we talk in peace. Remember that anong pinag-awayan yan is not territorial. Ang territorial natin at lahat ng bansa sa buong mundo, it's the 12-mile limit from the coastal shores where the water would rush in and rush out during high tide or low tide. Itong dito sa Scarborough is the entitlement. Lahat namang bayan sa buong mundo, we agreed na mayroon sarili tayong fish fund. Ang ating dyan, ang sinabi ng China, kasali sa kanila, yung ating fish fund. Lahat sa mundo may sariling fish fund. So that is the sovereign entitlements, mga isda, marine life. Kasi yung tubig ganon, sa ilalim yan, ito yung coastal. Sure. Sa ilalim niya, tawag nila kantil, yun, may tubig pa yan. So pag ganon yan, these are what you would call the continental shelf. Hindi yung pagkita mo dyan, maglakad ka sa beach, na dyan, mismo nga, wala ng lupa. May lupa pa, sa ilalim niyan, meron pa yung papunta ng, that is the continental shelf. And that is the basis of our claim for the sovereign entitlements. So, hindi naman tayo pwedeng mag-gera. Mag-usap na muna tayo. And there will be a time. There is always a time in this world. A time to talk, a time to war. A time for bloody, and a time to be purified. It's not the time because we cannot depend on anybody except us. I do not expect you, United States, to die for us. So we'll just have to navigate our way around here. Me, I'm willing to talk. I'm going to China because I want. Then, kung kami na lang doon, I will present the problem to him and I would say to him, this piece of paper, the Trevor Award, we do not go out of the four corners of this paper. We talk. Ganon, pero hindi ang pagtapang-tapangan tayo. Negosyo na. Kita mo, tulong sila gawa ng power plant. Can just imagine if we can get their help in the years to come. It's not territorial. Kung territorial, matagal na tayo nagpapatayan dyan. It's the sovereign entitlement. But one of the things that I would demand, if I go to the mainland China, is give us back our fishing rights. That's one. Not non-negotiable. Pobre among mga kababayan. Two, then, whatever, kung gas, meron doon ang agreement between China and the Philippines during the time of, you know, those the representatives energy. Di ba? Oh. Hands up ka agad, absent ka. We had this scientific, it was supposed to be, actually, it was just legalist, tokatis lang yun, diplomatic way. Or really, towards a joint venture. Nung umakyat si Aquino, tinabla niya. So kaya galit ang China. Galit talaga sa kanya. Ngayon, sabi ko sa, usap tayo. But there will be a time, but just like what the Bible says, mga Kristiyanos, there is always a time to talk, a time to be nice, a time to be angry, a time to be ugly, a time to be beautiful, a time for peace, a time for war, a time to be born, and a time to die. Hindi natin pwede biglain ito. So, we would like to thank China, the Gutianon family of Chinese ancestry, mine also, and we would only aspire for one nation. I will not obey to the unreasonable mandates of whatever mga EU dyan. EU kaya gani, basta maliit ka. Well, not me. Kaya ngayon, sample ko lang, paalis na ako this. Human rights. Davao was very topsy-turvy. When I became mayor, I said, kayong mga kriminal, mga durugista, mga adik, mga udaper, umalis kayo. Kasi pag hindi, talagang mamatay kayo. Now, bakit nga maraming patay? You know why? Hindi yan sinasalvage. Kagaya niyan sa Manila ngayon. Kasi ang pulis talaga takot yan. Anak ka ng... You should know because I was a prosecutor, a vice mayor, mayor, congressman, presidente na ngayon. Kung bakit, ayaw ko dumating ako dyan. Pero basta ganun ang laro. Takot talaga ang pulis noon. Kung hindi mo sabihan ang pulis, hulihin mo, go after them, arrest them, and if they present a violent resistance, kill them. Yan. With those words, maraming patay ang Davao. Yung lumaban talaga, namamatay. Pero sabihin mo na patay ko, nakatali ang kamay sa likod ko. Those were the handiwork of their co-conspirators dyan sa droga. Kasi bago kami nag-umpisa, sabihin ko, hulihin mo ito, tapos ituro mo yung isa ang nagpiyait sa iyo. Yung isa naman, ituro mo siya yung nagpabili sa iyo. So yung binabalot ng yung tinotorture, hindi trabaho ng gobyerno yan. Bakit may balot na hindi naman nagpo-produce ng mami ang gobyerno? Barilin mo lang dyan. Iwanan mo kung gusto mo talagang extrajudicial. But most of them were really because ang pulis talagang agresibo na. Kasi sinabi ko, go! At saka kung ano ang mangyari, as long as it is in the performance of your duty, duty connected, and when your life is in danger, patayin mo. Huwag kang mamatay kasi pagdating ko, ikaw ang barilin ko. Totoo. That is really my language. Ngayon, they've been using it. Ngayon, hanggang ngayon, doon sa iyo, that he is known to issue warnings of killing criminals. Sabi ko, fuck you. Why are you threatening me, including itong rapporteur ng Amerika? Why are you complaining so much about me threatening the criminals of the drug syndicate? If you consider the fact that we have now 3,700,000 drug addicts. By that number alone, it would tell you it's a very serious crime. Tingnan mo ngayon na wala ng addict. 60% reduce ng kriminal. Wala, pero maraming patay. Pero yung mga addict, kasi yung addict, 6 months to 1 year magamit ng Cebu. Either mag-suicide yan sa kagawa nila o mag-hold up. But in the end, yung may pera, andun, ayan, maraming pamilya, even in Davao. Basta itong mayayaman na, hindi na sila kailangan magnakaw, magpatay. Hindi na kailangan and they see the hopelessness of that. Yan ang totoo dyan. Itong mga Amerikano, pabuta-bungol, takutin pa ako na, bakit hindi ko sila putahin? Noong mayor ako, it was all right for them to criticize me. You know, you have a mayor in that Mindanao Island who's very talkative about killing, so easy. Okay lang yun. Kung presidente ako, lecturean ako ng putang ina niyang rapporteur. Tapos sabihin ako yung you know, there is no crime at all in the Philippines which says, I cannot threaten criminals or else I will go to prison. Walang crime nagsabi nga bawal magsabi ka kriminal. Kayong mga terorista. Kayong mga Tapos ako sila, sinabi nila doon they went into Iraq on the excuse of weapons of mass destruction. Pinatay nila si Saddam. Iraq is no longer a state. They undermined Libya. Binubomba nila ang Syria, patay pati mga bata. Wala lang Kaya today I announce sa international, sa Al Jazeera, I am inviting the United Nations, si Ban Ki, anong pangalan niyang yawa niya? Ban Ki-moon, Ban Ki-san. I am inviting the EU, yung pinakamahusay, send the best lawyers of your town. Pati ang mga rapporteurs, pumunta sila sa Pilipinas. I will write them a letter to invite them for an investigation. But, in keeping with the time-honored principle of the right to be heard, matapos nila akong tanungin ko sila. Isa-isahin ko sila. In open forum, you can use the Senate o yung Folk Art Center, whatever, everybody will be invited. Tapos manood kayo, tingnan ninyo kung paano ko lampasuhin yung mga yawa na yan. Whatever. Una ko lang tanong sa rapporteur, I killed thousands? Or what was the name of the first victim? What happened? Where? For what reason? How was it done? What time was it? Kasi si Obama, papatay yung mga blacks doon. Kahapon may binaril na naman na African-American. Kaya magpadala ako ng raportor bukas doon sa Amerika. Tanongin ito, bakit pinagbabarilin niyo itong mga itim dito? You know? Tapos sabi ng Britain, sabi ng Germany, di warningan nila yung mga Arabs. You stop because we will bomb you. Ang tinatakot ko, mga kriminal, itong inyo, mga bayan ng mundong ito, ang mga kawawang Arab, mga Muslim, pinag-aapi-api ninyo. The Middle East is a destroyed part of the planet na wala na talagang, wala. Kasi yan sila, kaya ako nagmumura. Kasi kung sila, akala mo with all the pontification and every word that they utter, they would like it to be treated as an ex-cathedra thing. Kung sila marunong, tayo binababoy. Bakit ganon? Politika yan eh. Galing yan sa Davao. It started in Davao as a political issue. As a matter of fact, go to Davao, yung DDS is not really, DDS was during the time Sparrow versus the DDS of government. Yan, hindi akin yan. Tapos inadapt nila na adapt sa akin, sinakyan naman itong mga oposisyon nung eleksyon. Okay lang yun. Ngayon hanggang ngayon, kita mo, Dilima, she was 7 years chairman of the human rights. Binibira niya ako. Hindi pinag-file ng kaso. The Secretary of Justice, she was building a name at my expense para mag-popular. So what now? Tingnan mo. She was not only screwing her driver, she was screwing the nation. Yan ang, kita mo na. O ngayon, sana yung human rights. Kaninong papel ginamit ninyo para sa investigation? From where were the papers? Kaya mahirap yung gano'n. Nakita mo, so after all, kaya sabi ko 6 months, because at the time when I said, I need another 6 months, yun yung pinahon sinabi ko kay Dilima, you better hang yourself. Kasi nandito na sa mga kamay ko yung, sinabi na nila, tinignan ko na. So all the while, because of her propensity for sex, ayun. Ngayon lang ako nakita na babae na lumabas sa buong social media, nakangiti pa ang buang. Marag ko inahitabo. Putang ina kung nanay ko yan, barilin ko. God. Yan nga, that is a lesson to be learned somewhere. Tapos sabihin ito mga na BB Plus credit, walang pakialam sa inyo. I'm formulating a new foreign policy. I'll be neutral. At saka yung sabi ng Amerikano, magpatrol-patrol dyan sa China Sea. I will not allow the armed forces to do that. Stop it. Why should we go into joint patrol tapos nagkagirap? Pag nagkagira, saan ang battleground? Diyan Palawan. Kalukuhan yan. Magira lang kayo dyan. Okay na kami dito pa. Inaugurate na lang kami. Kung meron kami nito, you know, I'd really be happy if I get to be invited so many hundreds of kilometers away. I would still go there. If it's the weapon, you know itong electricity, it is really the Carabao. Pag wala kang energy, patay ka. And to me, this would alleviate, including the Zamboanga Peninsula. Hirap talaga sila doon. almost every now and then hingi ng tulong for a redistribution of the power from the grid. But with the surplus now, hindi nga surplus, kulang pa rin. But more or less, may stabilize na. For now. But we never thought that Mindanao would develop so fast that in a few years would be starting again to tinker with, but maybe in the fullness of God's time, we would have something like a solar or better technology, but not expensive. Walang question yan. They are available. But whether or not we can operate them at a cost that would give you the return of investment for a few years, I don't think so. Well, I'm not trying to be an actuarial thing here, but mahirapan. So hindi naman kasi ang mga investors, they want to get back a little of something. Maybe on the third year, fourth year, they would have the profits back slowly. But if you're saying that itong ganitong klaseng, it takes time, it takes money. But again, I would like to thank the Gutiano family for this plant and everybody connected with it. And the Chinese, you will see me more often in China. Saka totoo lang, pag iniyaya ka dito sa mga Asia country, makita naman ninyo ang preparation sa banquet. Doon, buhugan ka lang yung sagbutan o mga salad-salad. Dito na lang ako. Diyan na lang kayo. So again, I'm here. I'm happy to be here. I think this would I would have the command conference with the police. Just a reminder to them also that I'm not happy with what has happened. I give them a more ganito ha. In a scale of 1 to 10, we have achieved something like about 5. But most of the drug ngayon, even dito sa Cagayan, if you want drugs, your source of communication, the critical communication will come from your jails. Ang transaction dito sa droga sa Pilipinas, almost 95% still being cooked inside prisons. Puro Chinese. Kaya hindi ito maghintay itong mga yawa, ito bahog ko na sa boiler diya. Sabihin mo sa kanila, translate mo. I have no problem. My grandfather, Chinese yun. My grandfather was really Chinese. When he was naturalized, he took after the name of his lawyer, Attorney Roa. My mother was a Maranao, taga-Iligan. Pero yung mga half-sister niya, talagang Roa rin. He was really a Roa, but he was really Chinese also. Most of the time, and there was this naturalization proceeding, yan ang ginagawa nila eh. Ina-adapt nila ang mga pangalan ng mga abogado nila. So wala akong problema dyan sa mga Chinese na yan. Papaghinto, bahog mo